Now, David is an interesting character. And as I've said before, David, he's a passionate man. He's got a lot of passions. He's a warrior. He knows what it is to kill someone with his bare hands. He knows what it is to face an overwhelming enemy. He knew that from the time he was a young boy and faced Goliath. He knew that in facing armies that surrounded him. And God gave him the strength to stand and fight, or the wisdom to run. There's a time for both of them. And as we go through the Psalms that we're going to look at today, we find kind of a passage of things. I titled this morning's message, God's Deliverance. But there are really kind of three sections to it. And the first one could be entitled, Do Not Destroy. And we touched on one of these Psalms last week at the end of the message, and that's where we're going to pick it up, Psalm 57. And it's interesting because the three that have subscript, the thing at the beginning, the introduction, that says this should be sung to the tune of Do Not Destroy. It's very interesting that they should be sung to that tune, because the things within them don't sound like Do Not Destroy. So it's interesting. Psalm 57 tells us that at the beginning of it, at the introduction, it says that it's a miktam of David when he fled from Saul into the cave. And if you remember the story, David fled from Saul for 10 years. And on 2 occasions, he had Saul at his mercy, and Saul didn't know it because Saul was asleep. One time, David snuck into the camp and stole Saul's private thermos bottle and spear, and then the next day said, "Hey, Abner, bodyguard of Saul, good job last night. Look what I got." And the other time, Saul had chased David to the point where he was hiding in the caves, and Saul came into one of the caves and was in there and was indisposed in a way that David had the opportunity to cut the hem of his robe. Could have killed him, but didn't. And so this first psalm, it says that's what this was in David's mind when he wrote this song. And he says, "Be merciful to me, O God, be merciful to me, for my soul trusts in you. And in the shadow of your wings I will make my refuge, until these calamities have passed by. I will cry out to God Most High, to God who performs all things for me. He shall send from heaven and save me. He reproaches the one who would swallow me up. Selah. God shall send forth his mercy and his truth. My soul is among lions. I lie among the sons of men who are set on fire, whose teeth are spears and arrows, and their tongue is a sharp sword. Be exalted, O God, above the heavens. Let your glory be above all the earth. They have prepared a net for my steps. My soul is bowed down. They have dug a pit before me. Into the midst of it, they themselves have fallen. Selah. My heart is steadfast, O God. My heart is steadfast. I will sing and give praise. Awake, my glory. Awake, lute and harp. I will awaken the dawn. I will praise you, O Lord, among the peoples. I will sing to you among the nations. For your mercy reaches unto the heavens, and your truth unto the clouds. Be exalted, O God, above the heavens. Let your glory be above all the earth. Now in this, the first of the three that's to this song, Do Not Destroy, in the midst of it, David is recounting what his situation is. He says, I'm among the lions. How many have ever been to the zoo? Anybody ever been to the zoo here? A few people. Okay. Have you ever been to the zoo and heard the lion roar? I mean, really roar. Because every time you go to the zoo, lions, I think the male lion sleeps at something like 23 and a half hours a day. And the other 30 minutes he gets up and eats. No, really, it's something absurd like that. It might only be 23 hours a day. But they're not up a lot. But when you're there and you hear that lion roar, I can remember it was either in Michigan or down in South Carolina. We went to a zoo one time. And it was a unique zoo in that you walked on this walkway above all this open area, and all the animals were down below you. And then they did have one huge lion area where you could walk all the way around the lion area. They didn't have really any place to hide. You could see them from any place. And the lions were awake. And we were on the other side of the zoo. And one of those lions started to roar. And I could feel it as if, somebody with 5 subwoofers in their trunk were driving by, right? I mean, I could feel it, that sound. And man, you know what I thought? I thought, I am so glad that lion is in a cage. And then I started thinking, imagine being in the jungle. Imagine being in the wilderness and hearing that roar and knowing that lion's not in a cage and is probably not alone because they run in packs. That would be frightful to hear that sound and think that big beast could leap upon me at any moment. And that's what David's life was at that time. For 10 years, he was being chased by Saul and Saul's army. And in the beginning, he was alone, and then a few other people started gathering with him, and it says a couple of hundred of the people who all hated Saul and were, avoiding paying Saul's tax and hiding out, and they were the junk people of the day. And, they started coming around David and hanging around him. And that's who he's got to hang out with. And Saul is surrounding him and chasing him down, trying to kill him. I'm among the lions. I'm among the lions. I'm among the sons of men who are set on fire, whose teeth are spears and arrows and their tongue a sharp sword. But in the midst of it, he says, be exalted, O Lord. Be merciful to me. My hope and my trust is in you, O Lord. He knew the right place to go for help. Psalm 58. The second verse of the song, Do Not Destroy. Do you indeed speak righteous, you silent ones? Do you judge uprightly, you sons of men? No. In heart you work wickedness. You weigh out the violence of your hands in the earth. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they're born, speaking lies. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They're like the deaf cobra that stops its ear, which will not heed the voice of charmers, charming ever so skillfully. Break their teeth in their mouth, O God. Break out the fangs of the young lions, O Lord. Let them flow away as waters which run continually. When he bends his bow, let his arrows be as if cut in pieces. Let them be like a snail which melts away as it goes. Like a stillborn child of a woman, that they may not see the sun. Before your pots can feel the burning thorns, he shall take them away as with a whirlwind, as in his living and burning wrath. The righteous shall rejoice when he sees the vengeance. He shall wash his feet in the blood of the wicked, so that men will say, surely there is reward for the righteous. Surely he is God who judges in the earth. Remember, this is sung to the tune, Do Not Destroy. Interesting, isn't it? That doesn't seem to be the heart of the message of the psalm, is it? The heart of the message of the psalm is David saying, hey, look, you people who are acting so righteous, why are you silent? You're not righteous. Is there righteousness in your heart? No. No, there's wickedness. As a matter of fact, you've been wicked since the day you were born. It isn't that you fell into wickedness. You never knew goodness. That's what he's saying here.